The Sacramento-San Joaquin Delta is a charming and picturesque blend of small towns, farmland, historical sites, ports, and marinas. California's two biggest rivers, the Sacramento and the San Joaquin, entwine in the delta before discharging to San Francisco Bay. Fresh water mingles with salt water, creating the largest estuary on the West Coast. The delta is home to 500,000 people and provides habitat for more than 300 species of wildlife, 29 of which are threatened or endangered. The fertile peat soil produces $700 million annually in crops such as asparagus, pears, corn, grain, sugar beets, and tomatoes. And the delta's ecosystem supports the commercial salmon industry of the entire West Coast. The delta was once a vast marshland covered with tules and teeming with wildlife. Settlers, lured at first by the gold rush of the mid-1800s, built levees to drain and reclaim the land. They began farming the highly organic soil with great success. Today, the delta has 57 leveed island tracts and 700 miles of sloughs and winding channels. Although most of the delta's original habitat is gone, wild vestiges remain. Chinook salmon still migrate through the delta. Sandhill cranes return each autumn. Delta smelt are found nowhere else in the world. And splittails spawn when rivers spill over floodplains. Nearly half of the water that flows from northern and central California mountains continues through the delta and out to San Francisco Bay. The rest is used by people and farms. The delta is also the hub of the state's water distribution system. The water supply for one of the largest farming regions in the world, the San Joaquin Valley, and a vital piece of the California economy. 25 million Californians in the Bay Area, Central Valley, and Southern California rely on water delivery infrastructure in the delta. Much of the nation's domestically grown fresh produce comes from water that flows through the delta. But the delta is in trouble. Many species of delta native fish are in serious decline. Their populations suffer from habitat loss, pollution, competition, and predation from non-native species, poaching, and entrainment at the pumps in the South Delta. The pumps pull water from the delta, a major fish nursery, resulting in losses of fish at the diversions. The pumps also change flow patterns in delta channels, which may confuse migratory fish. To mitigate for this, these fish are collected and must be trucked back to their natural migration pathways. Trouble also looms for the cities, businesses, and farms that depend upon water from the delta. Under endangered species laws, pumping at federal and state water delivery systems has been curtailed frequently in recent years to protect salmon and delta smelt. Compounded by California's periodic droughts, these pumping restrictions can diminish water deliveries dramatically. In 2009, a drought year, some irrigation districts received only 10% of their water supply. Such cutbacks cost jobs as farmers abandon their crops. In cities and suburbs, districts struggle to find replacement sources of water.
Water is vital to the future of Silicon Valley. Conversely, water insecurity can be devastating to the industries of Silicon Valley, whether that's high-tech, biotech, clean and green tech. If there is any disruption in the water supply or the quality of the water, that can mean serious disruptions to the bottom line of California and Silicon Valley's innovation economy.
The delta's unique man-made topography makes total water supply disruption a real threat. The levees in the delta are old and fragile. Earthquakes, climate change, and subsidence conspire to threaten levees further. Many islands are actually sunken below sea level and rimmed by vulnerable levees. Should levees collapse, water could fill the islands, drawing salt water in toward water project pumps. This could cease water deliveries for weeks, months, or years, putting California's public safety and economy at risk. For 40 years, competing interests have argued in court, the legislature, and regulatory hearing rooms. Environmental regulators have worked to protect threatened species. Water district managers have invested heavily to wean themselves of the delta. These combined efforts and regulations have proven to be insufficient in reversing native species decline or satisfying water supply needs. In 2009, the California legislature passed the Delta Reform Act, urging water agencies across California to reduce their reliance on the Delta to meet future needs.
We have invested tremendous amounts of money heavily in drip irrigation systems and water efficiency systems throughout our district. Now the key is we need to know that we have the water to put into those systems, because when we have the water to put in those systems, we can plan ahead. We can plan for crops that are the most effective to be grown in this region, the most productive, and in the most demand in any given year. Currently, we are unable to make those planning decisions because of the unreliable water supply that we're living with.
This struggle could continue indefinitely, while extinction and economic instability loom. Or Californians could take a different approach, one that both reverses the decline of native wildlife in the Delta and stabilizes the amount of water people can rely upon. Underway since 2006, the Bay Delta Conservation Plan takes such an approach. The BDCP links these dual goals: ecosystem restoration and reliable water supply, so that the amount of water pumped from the Delta would be related to the consistent recovery of threatened fish. The plan acknowledges scientific uncertainty and provides an independent process to monitor and evaluate data and identify issues as the plan moves forward. The BDCP will protect the water rights of upstream communities. It also seeks to protect the Delta as an evolving place with unique cultural, agricultural, recreational, and natural values. Aiming to satisfy federal and state endangered species laws, the plan sets forth a wide range of actions to restore and protect native species, while regulators will retain the power to order changes in water project operations. Proposed actions under the plan include restoring tens of thousands of acres of habitat, especially tidal wetlands, providing shelter for fish to hide from predators, find food, rear young, and grow strong.
The restoration of habitat under the Bay Delta Conservation Plan is important for a couple of reasons. One is just to restore the physical habitat that isn't here anymore for the native fishes and the native creatures out here. There's been a tremendous amount of tidal marshes and other types of habitat that has been reclaimed as farmland, and it's made one of the richest agricultural areas in the world. However, it's come at a price to the natural environment. And the other is just to reproduce that productivity that was really important that came out of these tidal marshes, which fed the rest of the Delta.
The plan could also shift the primary diversion of water to just below Sacramento and include new pumping plants and a new tunnel facility to deliver water to the state and federal water projects. This move would allow for much more effective fish screening and the restoration of more natural flow patterns through the central and southern Delta. The BDCP is funded by water districts in the Bay Area, Central Valley, and Southern California who rely on Delta water. If they pursue the plan, the districts will be required to pay their share for the construction of new pumping plants, tunnels, canals, and other facilities. These costs would be distributed across millions of water users. All Californians would help pay for habitat restoration, most likely through future general obligation bonds. At an estimated $24 billion over 50 years, the plan seems expensive. But in light of California's nearly $2 trillion economy, it is imperative that we make our most critical water infrastructure more reliable and compliant with current environmental and safety standards. To do nothing is not an alternative. California needs a solution. As one component of a comprehensive statewide water management plan, the Bay Delta Conservation Plan offers solutions vital to the California economy, public health and safety, and the protection of one of our most treasured natural communities, the Sacramento-San Joaquin Delta.